Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rodney for Congress.
It's 8 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday morning. It's a bit dreary as we start the new workday. Right now, temperature is 53 degrees under overcast skies in Clinton.
Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
On this Thursday, we'll see a gradual clearing. Temperatures today around 70 degrees and much less windy. Today, west winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll see increasing clouds tonight with a chance of a scattered thunderstorm tonight. Lows around 55 degrees. A 40% chance of lingering early showers on Friday. Otherwise cloudy. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy Friday night. Lows in the lower 60s. A bit more breezy Friday night. South winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny and breezy on Saturday. A high of 80 degrees. South winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Wind gusts of 40 miles per hour. Sunday showers, breezy, highs around 70 degrees. And into next week, Monday partly sunny with a high in the upper 50s. Tuesday sunny with a high again in the mid to upper 50s. As we start this new work day right now, cloudy skies across central Illinois. We'll take a look at some of those rainfall totals that we have here for you this morning and pass those along in just a moment. But right now, 51 degrees in Bloomington, 51 in Hayworth and Leroy, 52 in Farmer City, 53 in Champaign, 52 in Monticello, 53 in Decatur and Mount Pulaski, 52 in Lincoln, 53 degrees in Springfield, and 50 in Peoria this morning. Taking a quick look at some of those rainfall totals here this morning as we pass those along at this time. CocoRoz.org is the spot for all of those rainfall totals. In northeast DeWitt County near Farmer City, just less than 0.6 of an inch of rainfall reported there. Macon County yesterday in Warrensburg along 121, about 1/3 of an inch of rainfall reported there. Just over 0.4 of an inch of rainfall in Lincoln in Logan County. A 1/2 inch of rainfall between Hartsburg and Atlanta in northern Logan County from yesterday. On the east side of Bloomington Normal, 0.6 of an inch of rain. On the west side of Bloomington Normal, just off the highway, about a 1/2 inch of rainfall reported there. In southeast Bloomington Normal, along Towanda Barnes Road, about a 1/2 inch of rainfall reported there. Let's see, in Leroy yesterday in McLean County, about 1/3 of an inch of rainfall in Leroy, but just outside of Leroy, about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall reported there. Let's see, in far southeast McLean County along 54 north of Bellflower, about 1/5 of an inch of rainfall reported there. Just on the other side of the McLean County line in Woodford County near Congerville, about 0.4 of an inch of rainfall yesterday. Far western Peoria County near Elmwood, about a 1/2 inch of rainfall reported there. Just outside of Metamora in Woodford County, about 0.3 of an inch of rainfall reported in McLean County there yesterday. Let's move over to Champaign County this morning. About 1/4 of an inch of rainfall is being reported in most of Champaign-Urbana from yesterday. There is a report of just over 0.4 of an inch of rain in Mahomet yesterday. 1/5 of an inch of rainfall in St. Joseph yesterday. Let's see, north of Homer, about 1/5 of an inch of rainfall reported there in Champaign County from yesterday. About 1/5 of an inch of rainfall in the Danville area of Vermilion County. Shelbyville in Shelby County, about 1/5 of an inch of rainfall just outside of Edinburgh in Christian County, 1/5 of an inch of rainfall. And a couple of reports in the Springfield area yesterday. One of a 1/2 inch on the south side of Springfield and on the north side of Springfield near Riverton. About 0.6 of an inch of rainfall there. Near Chatham yesterday, between the highway and Chatham, about 1/3 of an inch of rainfall reported there. CocoRoz.org, as always, has those rainfall totals for you folks, and they have a just terrific interactive map. Very easy to use, navigate, zoom in, zoom out. It is tremendous to use. And, if you're looking at maybe rainfall that we've gotten over the last week, we've had a lot of rain in central Illinois. I can click on a tab called Range, and you can select dates of when you want to know when rainfall fell. Let's get rainfall totals for the last week in let's see here, in the Monticello area, 1 inch and 1/3 of total rainfall, about 3/4 of a total inch of rain in Clinton and DeWitt County, 2 inches of rain near Farmer City in total. in DeWitt County, nearly an inch of rain in Lincoln in the last week. So just tremendous, easy to use. I actually just pulled that up as we were talking here just now. So really easy to use. And again, that's cocoros.org. It's a great resource for anyone out there wanting to know just how much moisture we've gotten in a certain range of time. So again, cocoros.org for all that info. 53 degrees and overcast in Clinton to start this Thursday. Now let's get to the news on this Thursday morning.
From regional radio, DeWittDailyNews.com, and the WHOW app. This is local information making a difference.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. News time is 13 minutes after the hour. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And the WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. 2019 was the last time the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum was able to open its doors at its traditional 1st of April time. The museum was able to open its doors for the season in 2022 at the 1st of April. Director Joey Long told Regional Radio News on the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday she is glad to see individuals and now groups returning to the museum so she can share local history.
It's gone quite well. So doors open, like you said, on April 1st, and people have been coming. So we're really happy about that. Keep a guest log when people come in, and, I ask their first name and where they're from, how they heard about the museum and their reason for the visit. So just in the last few days, we've had people not just from across the state, but also beyond. We had a couple in last weekend from Hannibal, Missouri. And yesterday I welcomed a gentleman from Lexington, Kentucky. So it's good to see that, people are out again, traveling, coming to some of these sites that, maybe had been on their list for a while, but now they've decided, we have the opportunity. We're just going to take off in the car and go explore. And I'm glad that often that includes our historic sites. In fact, yesterday I welcomed 37 students from a Decatur area school, as well as their 6 chaperones and their bus driver. It had been quite some time, since we had a large group of students take a field trip to the museum. So it was really nice to have them there, see all those young faces. And it's always a good day when you can welcome a busload of kids to the museum.
Long can cater her tours of the home to the individual or the group she is with. She enjoys getting to know those who she will be showing the home to so she can give them the best tour possible.
I probably do it much differently than most in my position, but I feel like it's important to tailor the experience to the individual who walks through the door. And people who come through the door are all different ages and also all different reasons bring them through the door, So if it's someone who's interested in Abraham Lincoln, then, I kind of tailor it towards Lincoln and his influence on DeWitt County, DeWitt County's influence on Lincoln, that connection between Mr. Moore and Lincoln. If they're more interested in architecture or the antique furnishings, then we focus on that. And it always ends up being much more like a dialogue, like a relaxed visit. People comment on that quite often. I don't feel like I just took a tour of a historic house museum. I feel like I just visited an old friend, even though I just met you today. Mm-hmm. And that's important. I think it makes a meaningful experience.
When kids have been coming to the museum in recent years, Long has been encouraged by the curiosity they come with. She gets really good questions and inquiries from them.
As far as doing, kid groups, for one thing, you may have as many as, 30 or 40 kids. Often Larry and I will split them in half because it's just too many, in one room of the house at one time, So yesterday, we split them in half, and half went down to the big barns below and we're touring the farm museum while the other half was in the house. And then also I tailor those according to the age of the kids. So like for the younger ones, they probably aren't that interested in C.H. Moore and his investment in land or things like this.
Mhm.
That's not interesting to a kiddo. Something that I implemented a few years ago is, and it's fun. In each room, I take 3 things that would not belong in that house during Mr. Moore's time there. So when they come, we talk about, the 1800s and when Mr. Moore lived there and what life was like back then. And then we go from room to room to room, and the kids point out which items don't belong in the house because they're not from Mr. Moore's time. That's always a lot of fun.
C.H. Moore was into gadgets. Long points out each age group finds a couple of the gadgets in the home to be of interest.
I would say one thing that a lot of kids see and it catches their eye and they ask what it is our 1870s kaleidoscope. It is quite a curiosity. And, you would look at that and think, what is that doing here? What is that? But, once you explain to them, what it is, and especially, if you let them take a look themselves, and see, what that looks like when you look into that kaleidoscope, they all love it. In fact, it's one of my favorite things in the museum, too. I would say that's probably what catches the kids' eyes the most. And this year I'm seeing that a lot of adults, their eye is caught by Mr. Moore's rotating bookcases. So these were actually built in Chicago. Patent date on them is, I think it's 1893, something like that. And I don't know why we don't have them today. They're kind of hard to describe, but think of a lazy Susan. They spin, but there are 2 layers of shelves, one on the inner part of the bookcase and one on the outer. So you can stack books on the inner bookshelf and the outer bookshelf, and then they both spin independently like a lazy Susan. So in a very small space, you can store a very large number of books. So we actually have 2 of them. The smaller holds 250 volumes. The larger one can hold 450 volumes. So those people ask about those a lot. And then they also ask a lot about Mr. Moore's Wooten style desk, it's an amazing piece of furniture. The desktop, if you pull the desktop out, the shelves on the sides open up and reveal all of these cubby compartments. And then when you're done working, you just shove that top back in, and the entire desk and all those cubbies, they just close up. But Mr. Moore liked gadgety things. So he has a lot of things like that would be considered gadgety things. And apparently, the people who visit the house today also appreciate these gadgety things.
The museum is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. Get information about all things C.H. Moore Homestead by finding the museum on Facebook or visiting chmoorehomestead.org. You can contact the museum as well by calling 217-935-6066. Last week on regional radio, we heard from nationally renowned Dr. Jim Lavelle about the many benefits of walking. Walking is an easy way to increase your overall mobility and health, but if you want to take the benefits of walking to the next level, Dr. Lavelle has a few easy things to do. He first points out most people don't get enough magnesium in their diets, so finding a magnesium supplement at your local retail store is an easy first step.
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the things is, and I tell people this no matter what, if you're going to exercise regularly, more than likely you're not getting enough magnesium. So you could easily take a magnesium supplement. I think that's super important because magnesium relaxes your blood vessels. It helps with blood sugar. It's the one nutrient that really gets sweated out, and you can be prone for muscle cramps and muscle spasms and that kind of stuff. The other thing is don't eat a big meal like as a habit. For you did it. If you were gonna, I think it's good after your evening meal. If you're able to take a walk, it helps to metabolize that evening meal. So that part is good. Don't gorge yourself, right? Don't feel bloated and, busted at the seams full, right? Finish your meal, have a reasonable meal, and then take a walk. That's a great way to help control that post-meal blood sugar in the evening.
Most people also don't get enough water through the course of the day, so Dr. Lavelle implores everyone to get more water in their systems.
I'd say the other thing is just hydrate. Make sure you're drinking water. I mean, one of the biggest things I find over and over again with people that come into our facility, or, people I evaluate, is that their kidney function and their electrolytes are off. And a lot of times it's just simply because people don't drink enough water. So, drinking water, taking that evening walk after a meal is a good idea. If you're not going to do that, just fit it in a couple times during the day. And then I'm a huge fan on just taking a magnesium supplement if you're walking regularly. Magnesium's cheap, and I would suggest magnesium glycinate, glycinate, glycinate. Best absorbed, easy on the belly. It's the one I prefer for individuals. But yeah, it's a very reasonable supplement.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Lavelle points out even a 20-minute brisk walk provides cardiovascular benefits and reduces diabetes risks. While many may think the 10,000 steps they get throughout the day is enough, he says we need the consistent movement that walking provides for a sustained time or distance. It is 23 minutes after the hour here on this Thursday morning. Cloudy and a bit dreary outside, 52 degrees in Clinton. Plenty more to get to coming up on the morning show.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. This is Scott Baum. Yes, we have new inventory arriving, and you can see what will arrive right on our website. Just click on the pre-order and reserve tab. From there, you will find vehicles in transit and vehicles in production. Or just call our sales staff and we'll help. Find Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, including Tahoes and Suburbans, as well as our complete Buick line of SUVs. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
We are 24 minutes after the hour here on this Thursday morning. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton, and news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. RLI Corporation Wednesday reported earnings of $47.9 million in its first quarter. The Peoria-based company says it had profits of $1.05 per share. Earnings adjusted for investment costs came to $1.43 per share. The specialty insurance company posted revenue of $264.8 million in the period. Its adjusted revenue was $287 million. Illinois added nearly 5,700 teachers in the last school year, more than the past 5 years combined. The latest survey found strides have been made in easing the teacher shortage in Illinois, says State Board of Education Director of Teaching and Learning, Jennifer Crimes.
So we do still have very significant shortages in some communities. The state as a whole has actually added more than 5,000 teachers. And as a state, the vacancy rate for teachers is quite low at 1.5%.
Kermey says, unfortunately, the remaining vacancies are in areas that need help the most, like low-income schools, special ed, and bilingual education.
Almost 40% of the unfilled positions are either bilingual education positions or special education teaching positions, or both.
Kermey says the board will continue efforts to attract and support more teachers, especially in struggling schools that still have vacancies. More than $12 million is being awarded to communities around the state to ensure students get to school safely. The Safe Routes to School grants are funding 57 projects to improve sidewalks and bike paths and add ADA-compliant ramps, says Illinois Department of Transportation spokesperson Paul Wappel.
The goal of it is to enable and encourage children, including those with disabilities, to walk and bicycle to school, and to make bicycling and walking to school a safer and more appealing transportation alternative, and encourage, of course, a healthy lifestyle, active lifestyle from an early age.
Wappel says the grants will be used for a variety of projects.
Repairing sidewalks, making some ADA compliant, things along those lines, and just a great enhancement for a lot of schools, a lot of areas throughout the state.
The largest grant totals $250,000. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and the Illinois Department of Transportation is working with Illinois State Police to crack down on distracted driving. According to IDOT Public Information Director Paul Wappel, the message is simple.
We work hand in hand with the Illinois State Police on this, and law enforcement as well, as to get the word out. Illinois State Police, IDOT doesn't enforce the laws. That's what Illinois State Police does. They're out and about, and law enforcement agencies looking for distracted driving. Unfortunately, there is a lot of it out there, and there are people who do speed, and speed kills. Speed kills. It's dangerous, just like texting, driving distracted. All of that is a bad recipe.
If a driver is caught engaging in distracted driving, they could face a fine of $75 for the first offense. Any additional violations thereafter could rack up hundreds of dollars. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving accounts for over 1 million crashes each year in the United States. A downstate lawmaker says the state budget process needs reform. Recently, a final budget was delivered to lawmakers late at night and with only hours to review before casting a vote. State Senator Wynn Stoller is introducing legislation that would require a budget bill to be delivered 2 weeks in advance of a vote.
Yeah, and one of the things that really frustrates me most about this process is we received the budget just after midnight. It was 3,467 pages that spent $46.5 billion. We had less than 90 minutes to review the final language once we received it before we voted at 1:31 a.m. And I would suggest that is not the way government should be operating. People have said to me, they said, "Oh, it's always done that way in Illinois." And I said, "Well, it shouldn't be done that way in Illinois. Other states don't do it that way." In fact, I was talking to a school superintendent today. They passed their budget. It happened to be a $20 million school budget. They gave their board members a month to review that budget before they voted on it. Now, I don't know if we have to have a month, but I'd at least like to have 24 hours. And so I actually sponsored a bill that said we would have to have enough time. I put 2 weeks on it to say, hey, we need at least 2 weeks to review a bill before we vote on it, because it needs to see the light of day. This idea of voting on $46.5 billion budget in the middle of the night has to stop.
The governor signed the new budget on Tuesday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network News is now.